Welcome to Reach. Sounds like something we're reaching for. Hey guys, it's Gum here and we are doing Halo Reach. So I guess I could... Nah, never mind. I'll just let the cutscene play out here. I was gonna do like a little more in-depth intro here, but I'll save that for when I get into the level for itself. So I'll just let it play out, no. Talking once the cutscenes are over.
Contact with Visegrad Relay was lost last night. All signals flatlined at 2600 hours. I responded to trooper fire teams, which have since been declared MIA.
And now you're sending us.
The Office of Naval Intelligence believes deployment of a Spartan team is a gross misallocation of valuable resources. I disagree.
Commander.
So that's our new number 6.
Cat, you read his file?
Only the parts that were Covenant lacking.
Anyone claim responsibility, sir?
Only thinks it might be the local insurrection. 5 months ago, they pulled a similar job on Harmony. Hit a relay to take out our eyes and ears, then stole 2 freighters from dry dock. That cannot happen here. Reach is too damn important. I want that relay back online, Noble One.
Sir, consider it done.
Then I'll see you on the other side. Howl it out.
Lieutenant,
Commander, sir.
I'm Carter, Noble Team's leader. That's Cat, Noble 2, Neil and George 4 and 5. You're riding with me, Noble 6.
Not gonna lie to you, Lieutenant. You're stepping into some shoes the rest of the squad would rather leave unfilled. Me, I'm just happy to have Noble back up to full strength. Just one thing, I've seen your file, even the parts the Army censors didn't want you to. Glad to have your skill set. But we're a team. That lone wolf stuff stays behind. Clear? Got it, sir. Welcome to Reach.
Alright, one thing about that cutscene that's a tiny complaint to me is that Carter, which was Noble 1, didn't introduce Noble 6 to Noble 3, which is June. Just that the green's pointing there. But this is just a tiny complaint, but not a big deal really.
Listen up, Noble Team. We're looking at a downed relay outpost 50 clicks from Visegrad. We're going to introduce ourselves to whoever took it out, then Cat's going to get it back online.
Get me on the list, Commander.
So all the rebels want to go, reaching the rest of the colonies.
You got a chance, maybe you can ask me, George.
Commander, we've lost our signal base here.
Backup channels.
13. Nada. Can't say what's jamming us.
You heard her. Dead zone confirmed. Command will not be keeping us company this trip. Shoot down attempts are likely, so keep your distance.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay focused. Watch yourself.
Alright, so now it's giving us the tutorial here, because if you were playing the standalone version, this is what the tutorial would be like. You like these settings? Yes. Oh crud, I hit invert. I hit Y, not A. Now it's inverted, hold on. I can fix that. I don't care. Controls. No, that's keyboard and mouse. Let's see, inverted. Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah. Do you like these settings? Yes, I do. Okay, I selected it right that time. I'm there.
Do not want your eyes in the sky. Sir.
Yeah. Alright. So let's get into this. Okay. So how I'm gonna avoid this off is that. Yeah, I was debating for a little before I started this Let's Play to how should I avoid this off exactly, because, well, the thing is, game did come out after Halo 3, but yeah, it's supposed to be a prequel to Halo Combat Evolve, so it's gonna be kind of interesting. But then at the end, I finally figured out how to do it. I'll avoid it out. So like I'm just gonna be mentioning the stuff that's different from this that was added that wasn't in 3, as well as some. Yeah, that's pretty much that. And I am gonna be putting this Let's Play in the playlist before Combat Evolve. And okay, what was about? Oh, gee, it took him that long to get down here, but yeah, what? There was Emil, there was Kat, there was Carter, and yeah. So what supposed to happen is, we were supposed to pick up that beacon, and then yeah, but yeah, you can destroy that propane tank. Yeah, Carter only says that once you destroy that propane tank.
You confirm any EX residue here. Negative, sir. Right, my baby. There's a lot of blood on the ground. All right, Noble, looks like there's nothing here. Let's move on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I could have just ran right past that, so I didn't need to stand there and wait for them to listen to it, but I figured I might as well. Well, and kill those things. But just for the heck of it, and throughout this Let's Play, I will be mentioning some differences here that will be different if you're playing this multiplayer, because you can play this thing up to 4-player co-op, well, with 2-player split screen. And so, there's that, and you got George there, and June is up in the other Falcon, and such. So, I don't think I'm not gonna be quiet so you can hear all the dialogue, because that would just get too repetitive and such, and it's constant. And so, yeah, basic controls for me is A to jump, click right stick to zoom in, and the triggers to reload / throw grenades, right bumper to melee and such, right switch weapons X to reload. But yeah, and the rest of the left bumper just went with the ability, which, yeah, it's a new thing that they added here, which technically abilities here were in Halo 3, but they're way more useful for here than they were in 3. Then again, that's probably just because I was playing the campaign and such, and not the multiplayer. And knock that guy's helmet off, which you could do that in 2 and 3. But yeah. Yeah, so let's just stop. Okay, good. Let's just stop staying around and move on. Aha! There's an enemy up there. So let's see where he goes. And right there, got a jackal. And oh boy, we got a bunch of jackals here. So we better take them on. And yeah, first group of enemies in the game here. So it does take a little while to get to them, but you know, it is what they are. It is what it is. A nice little start for this here. And okay, yeah. Yeah, Williams right, and right, so we got the Covenant to fight, just like from the previous games and such. And one thing I really appreciate and love about this game is that Covenant, they're the only type of enemies you're going to be fighting throughout the whole game. So yeah, we have no Flood, no Sentinels, it's just the Covenant, and that's it. And however, there is in one level you always fight two of one type of enemy, but I don't really count that because that's the only time we do it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, it's just the Covenant and nothing else, no Flood, no Sentinels, etc. And that's something I just love about this game is that you're just fighting one type of enemy, which is the Covenant, but doesn't mean they'll just say. The same as they were in 3. They do kind of go back to their basic roots of how they were in Combat Evolved, where you got the really elite on the enemy side, so yeah, there's that. It makes sense because this is a prequel to Halo Combat Evolved. Yeah. And yeah, so we're not actually playing as Master Chief for once. We're actually now playing as Noble 6, which is basically like which is a pretty cool thing they added in this game was that, well, make it so you have a custom kill and you just plays that kill to and kind of live through the story of Noble team here and such. So it's a pretty cool idea, and you can change your armor to a ton of stuff. There's a ton of unlockables there, and depending on what your armor is selected to will appear in that cutscene. You can even change the color as well, and the visor color and such. Like some of the stuff that you see on Noble team here is stuff that you can actually equip to your character, like with the exception of like some exclusives that they have that you can't equip to them. Like for example, George here, he has he has like those two things on his wrist there, which you can only equip one to, and not two. So, yeah, and yeah, so there was that, and there was a couple other ones, but that's one of the more noticeable ones that. Oh sure, and forget George as well, which George right here, he's holding a giant, what looks to be a giant gun, which you can't get, unfortunately. Well, you can sort of get, but yeah. So we hopping in this truck, and I like that he uses the gun, puts the turret gun, whatever. I'll just call it a turret from now on the top, and it just looks like it's part of the vehicle. Almost like it's a warthog, but it's not. So that's something that's cool. And yeah, June's all gonna be up in that Falcon there, and it's kind of cool is that if you get a plasma pistol, you can with a fully charged blast onto the Falcon there, which is a new vehicle that they've introduced in Halo Reach, and I think it's the only game that has it, if I'm correct. Unless it's in Halo 5, I don't remember it is or not. And I don't know if they're gonna have it in Halo Infinite. There's such, there hasn't been any confirmed stuff on it, but it's basically like a better version, a different version of the Hornets that were in Halo 3. But I find them to be a little better because you can hold up to more people, and it has actual turrets on the side, which I think is pretty cool. When Suicide Grunts are still back, and one tiny complaint is that they made the grunts not sound as cute and sounding as what they did in the previous games. Because in the previous games, they sound like fighting against like stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of it's a tiny complaint, but you know, it doesn't sound bad or anything. I think it still sounds pretty good to them. But oh shoot, I managed to get past them, no problem. So yeah, it's like, and let's see if you, no, trying to see if we can knock one of the masks off here. So they can't seem to knock them off because they were being stuck in their laying on their stomachs. And oh, and there's that too. But sometimes when you hit their back, they'll feel things from whatever they're caught on the back. The back just spins them all out and then eventually blows up. It does damage you slightly, but you can very easily live it, unless you have like no health left. Which, in fact, that's another thing that they've brought back in this game, is that they brought back having health monitors, which we haven't seen that since Combat Evolve, and here they bring it back, which is wonderful. Well, you know, I never hated when they got rid of Red in 2 and 3. It just felt like I don't know. It just felt like the same. I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt like something's missing. And it was my first death. But that's okay. Hey, but it does look different than how it did in Combat Evolved, where it's not up in the corner, it's up in the middle, like top middle, where how it was in Halo 3. Okay, so yeah, and also when you take damage, the shield drain and health drains down from both sides, not just from one side. So keep that in mind too. You know, it does look pretty cool. It keeps it a little symmetrical and such. But in new gun, and even though this is a prequel, you would think about it. Doesn't it just have if you think about it, why doesn't it just have stuff that was in the first game or even less? But no, that just feels like it's taken away. But no, Reach still adds stuff, which I really appreciate. Like adds new guns as well. Like this here was a new gun that is called the DMR, and it's a pretty great gun. One of the best they've added into the game Halo series, and I think it's returning in Halo Infinite, if I remember correctly, and it does return in 4, 5, and stuff. It's basically like a different version of a battle rifle, for really. So, which unfortunately we do also lose some guns that aren't in that were in 3 that aren't in this. Like we don't have the SMG or the battle rifle, but sadly, but you know what? That's fine. Fine by me. Even though I did use those quite a bit. Well, mostly the battle rifle, but the DMR might as well just be the battle rifle in this case, because it's pretty similar looking. Yeah. Hey. All right. And I see June moves it into a different seat here. Yeah, so, yeah, it was that, and funny thing, if you're playing this part co-op, there will be a couple other differences, like George won't be here and such. If you're playing 2-player, June won't be there. You only get the option to have one player sit there and the other player sit on that one. And if you're playing 3 or 4-player, Carter will sit where I'm sitting right now, and the other 3/4 players will sit in those 2 spots as well as those 2 side ones. So that's some stuff to mention there. So I'm gonna try to do that, mention differences between the multiplayer and single player as often as I can. And because yeah, there's quite a bit of differences depending on which version if you're playing co-op or not. Oh boy, a lot of talking here already here. Neat, but yeah, so just slowly going for a ride here. Nothing too special. So just going for a nice ride in the Falcon here. And looks like we're almost at our destination. Oh, and another thing that's kind of interesting is that if you were playing for your 4-player, Cardio would sit here, and when he's talking like that, with his finger up on the helmet there, he'll actually move down slightly sometimes, and sometimes he'll not get out of the Falcon there like June did, but June would never get out if you're playing single player. Don't know why, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, sometimes Cardio won't get out if you're playing for your 4-player, but yeah, it's a tiny complaint, but it's not a big deal really. And got a new ability here. What is that ability called? Oh, what? Ooh. Yeah, that's another thing that they added here, is that they added actual assassinations, which is pretty cool. Once, it just makes you feel like, oh yeah, you really nailed that guy. And you can assassinate him pretty much any enemy. The only enemies I don't think you can are the hunters and the buggers. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And this new ability here is, I can't really show it off now, but actually I can do that. The hat, there we go. That ability is called Armor Lock, and what that does is it's kind of like a shield to you. Where once you hold the left bumper, you'll just go in that pose as it shows in the bottom left corner there, and your armor gets locked up to where you don't take any damage. And it's interesting. What's interesting is that the enemies won't shoot you when you're in that form. Like, take these guys for example. I go in armor lock. It can even protect you from grenades, which is perfect. And as you can saw there, they weren't shooting me because I guess they know it doesn't. You can't do any damage in that. And so it's that end. Sometimes sometimes if you're doing it to a human player, they will throw a grenade when it's just about to run out, and as it fully runs out, the grenade will explode, or then you will die. But yeah, that's just a little thing for if you're playing it multiplayer, that is. So yeah, and we got Jackals here, which they don't have their shields with them. So yeah, because it will introduces some Jackals that aren't just their shields, but they have other They just seem to be more heavily armed with different weapons. Which is inside. So there was that. And it's got a lot of enemies coming in. There are some Jackals with their shields. So there's that. That's cool. And she's almost died. And yet now we have to go inside the building. Because they're going to close the door and more enemies are going to come. But you can kill them all and they will eventually stop coming. So, which you could do that if you want, but I'm not doing that. I just want to do this casually. Like what and some people will do. And sure, lock the door, and George is locked outside. Oh, but don't worry. If anyone, he will get teleported in. And yeah, there's supposed to be a line that Carter says we need to find a control room and tell Emil to stay here. But yeah, it didn't say it. It doesn't show up that often. It's just an awkward silence there. Yeah, night vision. Just press up on the D-pad or control pad, whatever you like to call it. Halifax there, and makes things kind of green, but it's night vision. But I can see just fine without it. But by the way, what could that be?
Where's the rest of you, Junior?
We got split. I don't think they... It's some battle that comes.
All right, Corporal. Stay put. We'll get you combat search.
Plasma damage.
Found something.
I'll take that, Six. Not your domain.
I've got a large one over here. Come on. How's it coming? It's all right. We're not gonna hurt you. George, I've got her. Keep still. I'll release you.
So I close that door so no one can get past us. Then eliminate all hostiles inside the outpost and wait, free propane tanks. And it's crazy and you and yeah, so let's take them all out. So yeah, and unfortunately from that cutscene we now lose the armor lock ability. So pretty much at almost any point when there's a cutscene that leads you into a new area, yeah, you're gonna at least default to a new ability sometimes. Well, for maybe not all cutscenes, but this is one of the few that I do know for sure that does it. Yes, but yeah. Yeah, so just got some more stuff. Just keep moving on here and got it covered, okay. And found a shotgun and new armor ability called set up there called the drop shield, and what that does is I don't know if I can show it off here or not, but yeah, so boom. That's what the drop shield does. It drops a shield for you, and you can actually move around and such. But it's kind of similar to armor lock, but the one difference is you can move around and it's bigger so you can have multiple people hide in there. And however, the more damage it takes, the quick it will eventually go away. Take long. Won't last as long. So like if I keep doing damage with like this, it will eventually go away. See, like that. Ooh, oh, and we got. God, why does that always happen? Where I always get stuck on something and then, boom, died. But yeah, George stays over here to try to protect. Try to see if he shoots him a distance, and there's no way for you to kill any of the members of Noble Team. Like they're pretty much invincible, but you can't hit them, and they'll say stuff like, for George, he'll say, "Check your target," or "If you need me to move, just ask." Which that's a pretty funny line. If you need me to move, just ask. But you can just walk up and say, "Can you please move?" But he won't move. But obviously, he's referring to the Noble Six himself, and not just you. Darn it! I wanted to assassinate him, but I can still do it. Yeah, shotgun just works pretty much like standard shotgun here, where the closer you are to an enemy, the more damage it does. There we go, and I got the energy sword. Even though it doesn't do anything. Yeah, the energy sword, it pretty much operates the same as it does in 3. The only difference is it's a little nerfed to where it doesn't have as many uses as it did in 3. That's only about it for that.
Question of my life. If the question is when will the station be back online, 2 weeks earliest. This is plasma damage. All major upgrade components are fried.
2 minutes is too long.
Which is why I'm splicing into the main overland bundle to get you a direct line to Colonel Holland. You're in my light, Commander.
Find out what she knows.
What's your name? Do you live around here? Ahmed and George.
Shada.
Shada. Say, Patroznek. Your accent sounds familiar. Shopon?
Tankari.
Friend of yours?
Father.
Shine along. I'm sorry.
Why would you be?
Big man forgets what he is sometimes.
She just lost her father. She needs a full psychiatric workup.
She's not the only one. Lock it down, both of you. Get her on her feet. The body stays here.
Thank you, sir.
Signal. It's patchy, but it's there.
I'll take it.
Does not touch anything. You didn't want to ground this place.
What's your situation? Over?
Colonel, this is Noble One. There are no rebels. The Covenant are on Reach. Acknowledge?
Come again, Noble One. Did you say Covenant?
Affirmative. It's the winter contingency.
May God help us all.
May God help us all, or just get me to help them all, because, yeah. Yeah, so that's winter contingency, so now for only sword base, we'll save that for next time. But we'll let the intro cutscene play first.
Advise Kilo 33 and Kilo 34, your current LZ is too hot. Roger that. Don, stand by, receive response.
Yes, Commander. Coordinates received. Initiate immediate course correction. The Office of Naval Intelligence Sword Base is presently under siege from a Corvette-class Covenant vessel. Due to the sensitive nature of this facility, use of orbital rounds has been for the moment limited. Regrettably, my efforts to obtain relevant data on enemy forces have been unsuccessful. However, current defensive forces are insufficient. ONI has requested Team Noble's direct intervention to help secure Sword Base.
All right, people. We're stuck with that ship for the time being. Let's focus on the hostile infantry. Give those troopers a hand. Cat 6, you're out here. George and Bill, you're next. Get pressed.
Let's move, Lieutenant.
Cat 6, push back the attack on Sword Base. Find out what we're dealing with.
Did anyone else notice in that cutscene that there was gunfire going on at certain points there? But yeah, I don't know what was up with that. It must have been a slight glitch or something. But oh well, it's really not that big of a deal, really. But yeah, that'll be it for this episode here. So next time on Halo Reach, we shall do only sword base and find out what we're dealing with. So I'll see you all next time.